So I'm like you, I'm trying to take my recovery to a whole new level, but I have the disease that's coming in, you know what I mean, and trying to, so this is, we fight moving forward, we struggle moving forward. There's a great book, Failing Forward. We fail forward, and so it's just a matter of knowing that when the disease is not going to sit back and be like, oh, go to retreat. Oh, that's great. You go, oh, you know more. The disease, like, let's go. Let's act out. Feed me. You've been on this, and if you let it, the disease will punish you for coming on the retreat.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm with you. I understand totally. You ever realize, anybody think about this? I don't know if this is reality for you, but you ever realize when you're writing your 6 step, you start acting out more? Yeah. Anybody ever? When you start doing your 6 step, you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be getting better. It's progressing, And so, that's the 4th step too, that's the battle. You're talking about spiritual battle that goes on. So, I just want to say this so we can move on. When you accept that you have a particular problem, when you accept it, you move into a solution. If you're just aware of it, you stay in the problem. Self-awareness and self-acceptance are 2 different animals. You can become aware of something, and it will torment you more until you accept it and do something about it. And one of the things I say, I try to hurt nobody. I'm trying to help you. Don't let the disease take you somewhere. There's something called the principle of the path. When I meet people, and some people I don't know, I meet them, and I get to figure out what path they're on. And I don't know the illustration here, but there's a principle of a path. And no matter what you say, no matter how much you pray, no matter what you think, no matter if you're on a path that leads you to Western Superman, I don't care what you say, you're going to Western Superman. Yeah. That's where the path is leading. You can't say, oh, I'm going to, I don't know, I'm going to Kent. No, you're not the path that's going to Kent. You're on a path that's going to Western Superman. And so many people on the path, they're on a path that leads to destruction, but but I'm praying. But I'm meditating. I'm not, but the path you're on, when it gets to destination, you're going to cry, and the people who love you are going to cry. You got to get off this path. You got to make a quick surrender. You got to accept that this path is not the one you want to be on. You got, and that's what recovery is about. And we get to change our minds all the time. Recovery gives an opportunity to accept. I don't want to live like this no more. I don't want to settle for this level of abstinence or a little bit of recovery. I'm an addict. I want more recovery. I want more peace. I want more joy. I want more intimacy. I want more spiritual impact. I want more recovery. And I can get it if I'm willing to, do the work. Surrender, acceptance, yes.
So you said that, an experience with a living result. I've got acceptance of my illness, but sometimes even doing the work of where I am, it can turn into just an awareness.
Yeah.
So what's the antidote to that?
The antidote is to have individual, because I can't be you and you can't be me. We have to have our own boundaries. Where, I don't know if making 3 meetings a week is good, okay? Then you're not making nothing less than 3 meetings a week. That you have a home group, a sponsor, that you have updated step. So many people's step work is outdated. The disease has manifested to a whole new different thing, and you're dealing with stuff this stuff is ravaging you now. And you still, so I have boundaries in my life where I have updated step work, that I have a home group. I picked up, I don't like to sponsor new guys no more because of my travel schedule. But I'm sponsoring people. I'm working. I have boundaries. There's like a checklist. The living the program checklist. Ask question, living the IP. It's a living the program. It's an IP, and it says, did you call your sponsor? Did you do this? And I have a checklist that I have to make sure that I'm not off.
Where do we get that?
Downloaded PDF.
You can the living program. You can download it at na.org, or you can just put living the program PDF. You get it.
We're doing the meetings. It's in loads of meetings. Yep. It's just a pamphlet.
Yeah, it's just an IP. And the other thing is, and it's different for everybody else. If I'm not going to my daughter's dance competitions, my recovery sucks. My daughter's dance, I gotta bless you. I gotta be at my daughter's dance she needs to know that she's valuable to me, more valuable than somebody else outside. If I'm not, I got 2000 and when before, and every year I give my wife my calendar. Here's the calendar of the year. She takes it first. She blocks out dates, whatever she wants. Then it goes to my daughter. She blocks out dates. So I don't care if the World Convention calls me. I don't care if Jimmy Jam is getting married. I don't, I'm telling you, then my son, they need to know that's recovery. And then, so it looks like something. If I have to accept that and I have to live it. It's not just me aware of it, So it's just a matter of what does acceptance looks like. It got to look like something. That's why I like the word demonstrate. How are you demonstrating humility? How are you demonstrating? What is it? Because everybody can say that they accepted it. We've all accepted it. We're all praying. We're all spiritual. But what does it look like in your life specifically? And the more you work on these things, the more you can protect yourself from the traps of the disease. Everybody here is going to have, where we are. This is April. In June, you're going to go through stuff. In August, you're going to go through stuff. In November, and if you prepare yourself now, then you could go through stuff like a champion. You could prepare now for the storms coming ahead. You may see, that whole complete surrender thing, that whole complete surrender. You can make a decision to completely surrender, but then you need to commit to it later on. Well, you don't feel the same way you felt on the retreat. Well, you don't feel the same way you felt at the London Convention. We don't feel the same way you felt when you're doing step response. That feeling is long gone now. But you made a decision. And now are you going to honor it? Are you going to be committed to your decision? Which is a big deal in the third step. I know we're on the first step. It's a big deal. All right. Very good. Any hands before we move on? No questions. Good. Okay. Moving on. As we get ready to go on step 2, we'll probably find ourselves wondering if we worked step 1 well enough. Are we sure it's time to move on? Have we spent as much time as others may have spent on this step? Have we truly gained an understanding of this step? Many of us have found it helpful to write about our understanding of each step as we prepare to move on. How do I know it's time to move on? What is my understanding of step 1? And how has my prior knowledge and experience affected my work on this step? How does anybody know when it's time to move on from a step? What would be your first answer? How should Paul know it's time for him to move on, or Raj, or how would somebody know it's time to move on? Yes. When your sponsor says, that's a great indicator. Great indicator. The disease says, I'm a man. No, when your sponsor says. You want what your sponsor got, you do what your sponsor does. If your sponsor is Paul, then what Junior got to say is very important, but not more important than what Paul got to say, because he's the one working with you, right? If you got what your sponsor, it's easy for somebody to say, you should move on. No, there's a reason why your sponsor said that. Your sponsor knows you. Maybe it's in your head. He's waiting for it to get to your heart before you move on. I don't know. But too many, when your sponsor is guiding you, when your sponsor is time to move on, it's time to move on. Now, obviously, if your sponsor is sick and controlling and messed up and you chose the wrong sponsor, that will appear in people's lives, and you have to make a decision based on that. Because there's some sick people that, the crab bucket syndrome. You know what I mean?
Where is it?
The crab buckets. You throw the crabs in the bucket, and when the guy shoots the crab, they're always pulling them down. All the crabs are pulling them down.
That's why there's no lid.
They're pulling them down, And so that you might, every now and then, people fall into a situation where it's not ideal, and you need to make you're not married to your sponsor. I tell all my guys, if I can't help you, if I'm not working, if it's not working, get a new sponsor. We're not married. I made a decision to serve you. If you think I'm not, it's not working, great. You release me from service. I'm freed up. You know what I mean? So, all right. So, it says here, what is my understanding of step 1? And I like the idea that many of us have found it helpful to write about understanding. To write, I think it's good to write about what you think step 1 is. When you're going to speak on a step, you can look at it again. You can familiarize yourself with it. You get it, writing, I think is great. How has my prior knowledge and experience affected my work on this step? How would you answer that?
Became complacent and procrastinating.
My belief in my higher power helps me, because if I just go with my intellect or my feelings, it's not going to work. It's got to be spiritually grounded inside.
So your faith in high power helps you.
Well, my grandmother helped me when I was 3 years old.
Your grandmother was your first sponsor?
Yes, sir.
Come on. I know, Junior again.
I just got to a stage at 7 years where I thought I knew so much, that I stopped being in my step one by failing to practice 10, 11 and 12.
Sure.
And I bottomed out.
Yeah.
Spiritually, I bottomed out.
Yes. Captain.
I'm going to answer that the first time.
Uh-huh.
I didn't go through the guidance after I come to a step working guide retreat.
Mm-hmm.
So my past experience of step work wasn't step working guide. So I had to challenge myself, because all the way through it, I was comparing that way
Sure.
with this way.
Sure.
And then I remember he asked me similar questions on the second step, and I ripped the step working guide step 2 apart, because I was comparing it to how I'd done it before.
Sure.
But then the healing happens in the sharing, so when we was going through sharing the second step, it was brilliant.
Sure.
And I remembering what I wrote at the end. And then, so I read it out, but it was a different experience
Sure.
after I read it out. So I had to put aside all my past experiences
Yeah.
of step work and start fresh when I went through step work.
That's good. That's very good. Thank you. Yes.
Since like my first step one, I've learned quite a lot about addiction, I believe. So my second step one wasn't about drugs, it was about all the other manifestations
Sure.
of my addiction.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, my step one, I done it when I was like a few months in, and I definitely know it's like a little very out of date now. But I had all the material because of what I come from, because of the using that I come from and all of that sort of stuff. But I definitely feel like because of the crazy, what I put down then definitely needs to get refreshed as soon as possible. It's one of those things. Yeah.
Yes. Elliot.
Very simply for me, as a result of doing the first step, it left me with a void. That's when I was
Very
ready
good.
for the sentence.
Very nice. Okay. Very good. It says this. We've come to a place where we see the results of our old way of life and accept that a new way is called for. But we probably don't yet see how rich with possibilities the life of recovery is. It may be enough just to have freedom from active addiction right now, but we will soon find that the void the void we have been filling with drugs or other obsessive compulsive begs to be filled. Working the rest of the steps will fill that void. Next on our journey to recovery is step 2. So very nice. It says this. We've come to a place where we see the results of our old ways of life and accept that a new way is called for. That happens in recovery many times. You know, so obviously I can't use drugs. I got to stop using drugs. Then I learned, the way you do relationships is crazy. You're never gonna be, you're never gonna have a healthy, successful relationships. A new way is called for. The way you do friendships, the people you hang out, you always hang out with the wrong, you got to choose different friends. So it's gonna on and on and on. Even when I came to faith in a higher power, I was in one place, and I said, nah, this is not the place for me, and I needed to find. There's just there's always some new levels. So that's not just when you're new, that's when you're in the middle, when whatever, when you're in the process.
That more will be revealed.
More will be revealed. This line, it says, but we probably don't yet see how rich with possibilities the life of recovery is. You're not going to struggle with the things. If you do the work, you won't be struggling with the same things in 2 years and 3 years. I had a guy it was Christian. I don't know Christian. You're here today, or Marcus, you're here today, but 2 years from now, you're gonna be in a totally different place. You're gonna be happy, joyous, and free on a whole new level. You might come back with one of your sponsees. You know what I mean? Like things are gonna get better. You know what I mean? People, I can't. No, when you do good, you do the work, things get better. Each step has indicators of what happens once you've done the steps. So if you're doing the step work, things are going to get better. Things are going to change. Sometimes they get worse before they get better, but it's the process. But there's so much possibilities the life of recovery. People have a little, they just think I can be clean. No, there's a whole world available to you. There's whatever you want to do, whatever your gift mix is, whatever your passions are, new dreams, new possibilities, old dreams. There's so many things. It says in the Living Clean book, do not leave 5 minutes before the miracle happens, and not just the first miracle. There's many miracles waiting to happen. It says in the third tradition that an addict, who does not have the desire to use, without the desire, the addict is doomed. But with the desires, miracles can happen. Miracles. Some of you guys know that. You got families, you got education. Some of you guys been, some of you guys, you're on the other side as well. Yo, I can't believe I'm always on social. I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream. Things are wonderful. You get to a place where if you don't start none, won't be none. You know what I mean? Just protecting God, what you have. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Appreciate what you got. Build what you have. Encourage other people to get what they, don't be a hater, be a congratulator. Help other people get to their, stay in your lane. And, it gets greater later. It's powerful. You know what I mean? It's powerful. So that if you're new or you're struggling or you beat down, there's so much hope available. Hold on, pain ends, right? Hold on. That's hope. Hold on, pain ends. Just ride the wave, stick and stay, fight your way through. You're gonna get over this. Whatever it is you're going, everybody is going through something. You will get through this. You will get, you'll get on the other side of this, with the support group, with a sponsor, you're gonna get through this, and it's gonna get better. And that's important. I think somebody in the back said that. There's hope. When you remove lust, you get love. Removes anger, you get peace. You know what I mean? You stop doing the things that self-hatred, self-loathing, you get self-love. You do esteemable things, you grow in esteem. There's a whole other side to this. And so we probably don't yet see how rich with possibilities the life of recovery is. The life of recovery is rich with possibilities. All right? It says here, it may be enough to just have freedom from active addiction right now. So you might be free, you might be free right now, chilling. But we will soon find that the void we have filled with drugs or other obsessive compulsive behaviors begs to be filled. And that word begs is very powerful. All right? It begs to be filled. It's going to fight for its life. It's going to say, feed me. Let's do something, anything. Just give me something. Give me something. Let's get compulsive about something. And so what do we do with that? Working the first of the steps will fill that void. You could fill the void with instant gratification, which leads to long-term suffering. Or you could delay gratification and do the work and get a sustainable filled void with healthy, with spiritual, with love, So, all right. Any thoughts before we close? Any thoughts?
On the void, nature abhors a vacuum, so something will fill the void.
Yeah, absolutely.
You better believe it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So it seems about it takes to fill that void. I know one of the things I struggle with, so one big statement is the newcomer's the most important person in the room. But when that starts filling that void for me, I don't feel like I can share it in a meeting. I feel that it's insignificant. That's what my illness is telling me. That I can't overcome the biggest problem. That stuff is just, deal with it yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not to be put out there and work.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I should be strong enough to deal with it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. The disease is going to try to corner you, right?
Yeah.
But you got a sponsor, you got a support group. No secrets, man. No secrets. No secrets. I got a couple of guys. They know everything about me. They know everything about me. The good, the bad, the ugly. They know it. A couple of guys. Even I've spoken on all these CDs. I've spoken all over. There's some things that's not speaking material. It's not for people to know. It's not your business. It's for me and my 5 guys. And so there's some things that are not. It's not. I've thunk things. I've dreamed of things. I've thought of things that it is unspeakable. I thought about crazy, dark, disgusting things with 27 years clean in the midst of praying.
Yeah.
So I got to tell that to my 5 guys.
But I've also, I know in my head, I feel like sometimes if I take that stuff to the wrong person,
Yes.
then I just all I do is re-internalise it again.
Oh, absolutely.
So in other words,
Yeah.
maybe I wouldn't take it down, sometimes it's the right people.
Yeah. It's important. In the second step, we'll talk about. It's important. I have 5 people, but it's important to have 2 or 3 people that are more mature than you, that are further down the road than you. Right? There's